So on September 11th last year, I decided I was going to learn Unreal Engine, and I got an idea. No, not that kind of idea. This was an idea that I had spent the next couple of months working on, but then suddenly stopped. This was when update 5.5 for Unreal Engine had come out, and I was already working on 4. Now I had basic idea of what coding was, but this was a whole new level. I decided that I was going to make Grand Theft Auto 6 playable, but for myself, because I'm tired of waiting for Rockstar. I know, it's only a couple months away. But this was months ago that I started this. Days went by, potential leak dates for Trailer 2, fake leaks across the web of people using Unreal Engine with the iconic bar line at the bottom. Meanwhile, I'm in full production of the little demo of the 2022 leaks. Now, if you want to see me finish the entire thing, please leave a like down below. If this video gets something crazy like 1,000 likes, I'll probably do it. Without further ado, here's the video. Now, at the very start of this entire building process, I was extremely overwhelmed with the amount of things I had to learn in such a short amount of time. As you can see, the very first clip I took after a couple of failed attempts is me trying to figure out how to straighten the gun. This took 5 days. So it was a very big learning curve, especially when I'm using leaks, screenshots, and the official trailer to try to mimic this. And I am mimicking a Grand Theft Auto game at this point, so I'm going to need some cars. Luckily, Unreal Engine had some city sample pack for some vehicles at the time. It was free. Then I needed a character. I decided to go with Jason because everyone wants to do Lucia. Originally, I had the plan for 2, but when I made Jason, he kind of turned out like a chintzy version of Chris Pratt.
Now what? Open the door!
Then it was time to move on to the feet, but I'm not talking about the weirdo fetish people. I'm talking about the footsteps of sound. The ones that you hear when you run in clodhopper boots. Or whatever the hell these dad shoes are that Jason has.
Nice.
During edit, I realized I didn't actually record me adding the ability to get in and out of the car, but yes, I did that while also starting small-time production on the iconic HANKS Waffles. I'm learning something new again for the second time. Blender. This time I have to make Jason's iconic red and white hat from the leaks. This took 2 days. But I finally figured it out and I ported it over to Unreal Engine 5. I then fit Jason's hat on his head socket, and this allows him to look like a badass while he commits many heinous acts of terrorism. Now we must get Bonnie and Clyde's ride. What's the most updated one that isn't from the leaks? Yeah, this one. A 72 Chevelle. I couldn't get a 4-door, but I got a 2-door. It still works. Some time goes by, I ended up actually getting the animations corrected, and I also added bullet holes whenever I shoot. And then in this next clip, you see that I also implemented a crouch system so that you can crouch as Jason. When will I use this? I don't know. This is where the fun begins because I have to mimic, off of limited footage, the entire area that HANKS Waffles sits at. And this is where I started thinking a lot about the little cinematic I'd like to do. But I might save that as a surprise for part 2. Now that I got the very basics, I started doing heavy work on HANKS Waffles so I can actually have a building to showcase. And it's at this time that I actually realized how much of a pain in the ass it is to be a game developer at a large scale. Because I'm just one person, working on something very small in his bedroom. Let alone the relentless organization that it takes to have a bunch of people do this at one time without getting angry at each other. Because it is frustrating nonetheless, but it's fun. And at this point, it really started to come alive. I really started to see the GTA 6 leaks from 2022 in Unreal Engine 5 here. Although my car is a little bright, I had the reflection way too high at this time. I'm starting to get sick while I'm recording this video, but I'm going to try to push through. I then decide that there's something missing as I'm looking at the building. I need the doors, so I implement the doors, allow them for a physics swing, and I test it out with Jason here. And most of the time I was listening to Mac while I did this.
Ladies and gentlemen,
It's just the genre of music I'm listening to is like really, really calm. I started working on the interior of HANKS Waffles at this point. The floors at this time were really red for some reason. I ended up changing this later on, you will see that. I also added that big ass jukebox.
I just wanna love somebody.
Then I started working on the AI, which was the very first employee. She plays a big role later on. I then learned how to make a black box, and this allowed the character to actually have a brain to be able to see what she is seeing and walk around. I then go back outside, I make the little bay area that holds the trash cans. Shortly after I finish this, I do another useless system. I add the jumping in. I don't know why I did this. This is another thing just like crouching that I'm probably not going to use. But I was going for big and beyond when I first started. And then I slowed down and started doing actual details.
spin me around. Pretty please pick me up in the air and don't put me down.
Now, November was crazy because the Trailer 2 conspiracy started, and the moon theory. The moon! This was a incident that had me panicked because I thought I had 22 days from this point on to get an entire video and game done for you guys to watch. I'll tell you right now though, after getting all this footage of doing this, it's going to be weird to go and make the video and see it progress. As the days got closer to November 22nd, I knew I was running out of time. November 22nd comes and passes, and nothing happened. Everyone in the Rockstar community was shocked. They thought that they were going to drop Trailer 2, but they didn't. This moon came to pass, and I decided that I was going to start working on the gore. I then added bullet holes to the characters when they're hit, and also a bleed-out mechanic. Kind of like they had in Red Dead 2, except I was aiming for more of a Last of Us Part 2 style gore, and ended up with this. A week goes by and the very next thing I was doing was playing Call of Duty, so I did slow down on my Unreal Engine efforts after a couple months. But my very next thing that I decided to work on was allowing for there to be cars driving in the background so that it gives more of a lifelike feel, as you can see with this little box moving. I then make it to where the bullet contact can be visible from very great distances. And because of me being new to Unreal Engine, I realized that my performance is tanking. So if you guys do know a way to fix this for me, please leave a comment down below and it would be greatly appreciated. Thank you. This next part is a little pet peeve I have with the GTA 6 mapping project because they actually do have one detail wrong. Inside the leaks for the HANKS Waffles, you look in the distance when Lucia and Jason are driving away from the diner, and you see an overpass. In the mapping project, they have this labeled as Springfield Community Church. That is not what this is. This is an overpass for the nearby highway. This started to feel like I was working on a Bob Ross painting.
Here, and you just paint a bigger tree right over the top. We don't make mistakes. We have happy accidents.
But instead of getting happy little trees, I'm pumping out more gun shells than an American high school in the spring. Got it. Hell yeah, now I have shells that fucking eject. Now there is a long pause in between the recording. This is the very last clip that you see here. It's me failing to make Lucia, like I said earlier in the video. But here's about a month and a half worth of a time jump.
Flung out of my body, cut my hands off. Oh,
for the fame, plan B was robbing banks.
And now the moment of truth. I get to finally showcase HANKS Waffles in its almost entirely complete form. I have worked relentlessly on this for 6 months, as you just seen in the video before this. If you guys did just jump here to just watch this, I appreciate you, and please like and subscribe. This took a lot of effort. Thank you. And that's how you get Most Wanted in Leonida. If you guys did enjoy today's video, please do not forget to like and subscribe. This, again, took a very long time to make, so I would greatly appreciate you sharing this to people that you know, as it helps the channel grow. With all that out of the way, this has been FatalShotty with one of my biggest projects ever. That is so crazy to say. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. Catch you guys again soon. It has been FatalShotty.